May I have your permission to begin, sir? Thank you, sir. Respected Air veterans, families, Air Chief Marshal Bhadoria, Air Marshal Jagjit Singh, distinguished members of the Air Force Association, ladies and gentlemen. और थोड़ा ऊंची आवाज में बोलने की जरूरत है. अच्छा. Can you hear me now? Yes, wonderful. I'm representing the ECHS, as you're all aware, and it is my singular honor and privilege today to be standing in front of you and presenting a few views about the ECHS. I'm from the infantry, I'm from the Bihar regiment, and December 87 commission. I joined 10 Bihar way back in January 88. And today I also have the honor and privilege of being the colonel of the regiment, being the senior most serving officer in the regiment. So that's about me. With me today are three of my distinguished colleagues. I'll request you to just stand up and face them. Group Captain Manu Mishra handles the procurement and fund control. An HDMC qualified officer who's been with us for the last 1.5 years now. Captain Indian Navy Santosh is my Joint Director Operations. And Colonel R.K. Singh is the Director Regional Center number 1 in Delhi. So he's the first responder to all of you and any of you who have any issues in any hospital in the NCR. Please be seated. And why we have one each from the Army, Navy and Air Force is to tell you that the synergy between the three services and taking ECHS forward is probably the highest when it comes to ECHS related issues. So we are a composition of all three services. I have people from all three services, not only here in the central log, but all over in the country. So a brief initially would be informative, just to tell you what this organization is. And I'm acutely aware of the fact that all of you have spent more time with the ECHS than I have. So you're much more aware about the ECHS, but still, so that we are on a common grid before we come to the bigger issues, the problems and the challenges and how we're trying to solve them, a few informative slides. This is a new slide. This is not an old legacy slide. I'm sure you've not seen this before. Here I want to basically flag the point that as far as the veterans and beneficiaries are concerned, who are in that red box on top, the three pillars who support the polyclinics, which is your first interface, the human face of the ECHS is the polyclinic. That is where, from a big gargantuan organization, we turn into a, what do I call, as a face of humanity. This polyclinic, 427 of them, is actually run, supported, monitored, administered by three entities. The regional center, you've seen one of my regional center directors here today. There are 30 of them in this country and one of them in Nepal. Then the pivot is the station commander, the air base commander or the naval base commander. Because every HR aspect, 6,814 contractual employees are recruited, paid, monitored, and at times disciplined by the station commander. That's his prerogative or her prerogative. Similarly, there are other things which fall into his or her charter, and the basic administration of the polyclinic is the responsibility of the station commander. The third pillar in this organization is the SCMO, or what we normally talk as commandants of the military hospitals. It includes CH, Southern Command, Bangalore. It includes Army Hospital, RNR. It includes any command hospital and all zonal hospitals. Incidentally, as far as station commanders are concerned, including equivalents in the Navy and the Air Force, we have almost 211 of them. 211 people administering 427 polyclinics, and about 139 SCMOs giving us medicines from various parts of this country. And why do I want to tell you this complex structure? It is because it is through peer group collaborative process that we are running this organization. So it is not a vertical straight hierarchy and a chain of command that we issue a policy from here and everything goes down as it is we are used to in the services. So these three entities or pillars have to collaborate in a peer group fashion, and the central org is the one which provides the funds and the policy directions. So it's a joint effort, not only of the three services, but also of these varied entities that I'm flagging on the screen. And of course, the entire chain of command is in support as far as policy is concerned or budgeting is concerned. All CNCs, all area commanders and equivalent are involved day in and day out through their staff as far as the ECHS is concerned. And that is what distinguishes us or the ECHS from any other government-run scheme in this country. Whether it be CGHS, which is often talked about and compared with ECHS, or the railways, or the ESI, or any state government-run scheme. So this actually is an extension of our regimentation and the way that we take welfare to our veterans. So it is not a pure medical scheme, it is an extension of our welfare scheme and our regimentation that we imbibe during our service during our tenure in the services. The GOC area, sub-area and equivalent are the ones who actually implement these policies in big measure. So there is a great amount of responsibility which rests on their shoulders. 30 regional centers on the map on your left, 427 polyclinics in India and 6 in Nepal. On the right hand side you would find on the bottom the types of polyclinics that we have. This is the legacy that we've been carrying on from 2003, basically based on the dependency on a particular polyclinic. How this is changing now and how it is affecting the life of our beneficiaries, we'll come to later, and what are we doing about it also we'll tell you. This is the beneficiary breakdown, an informative slide again. You would notice that the primary beneficiary and his or her spouse constitute more than 60% of the entire beneficiary base. The children are about 27% and parents at about 11%. The rest, that is siblings, etc., are a minuscule, almost negligible. How has our scheme grown? You would see on the bottom left corner of the graph, it was just in 2005 when it started, where it was, and where have we reached today at 58 lakh plus. So initially, we discount about 4-5 years because from 2003 to 2008, we were still taking our veterans on board who had retired before that. But from there on, you will see a steady rise every year, and today we stand at 58 lakh plus. There is an annual validation exercise which is on since December last year. This is basically for the dependents other than the spouse, whether they have gone out of the system or they are still within the system is being ascertained. So this process is ongoing and it is going to take place every year. There is a proposal that once this gold database is established on the Sparsh, we can do away with the annual validation. So that is still under process. And till the time we get on board the Sparsh database, this system of annual validation will continue. This is an interesting slide to tell you how much money we are spending per capita in each of our regions. Now, when I say Bombay region, doesn't mean Bombay itself. It includes parts of Goa, parts of Maharashtra, and even one or two districts of Gujarat. So it's a region that we have formed. So this is the kind of money that is spent on each beneficiary who's a primary beneficiary in that particular regional center. Delhi, on the left of the graph, you would see that both RC1 and RC2 are the biggest spenders. One of the reasons that data tells us is that there is about a 30% migratory population which comes in from other parts of this country to take quality tertiary treatment here in Delhi. The biggest hospitals, the numbers of them, quality of hospitals is far better than many parts of this country. And therefore, people from Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Jammu, Himachal, and even from some central India states come here to get treated. So 30% of this money that we are spending is also on this population. What have we spent in the last 5 years? And why are there some alarm bells ringing in the minds of people in the government? This is the primary reason, that budgeting in 22-23 as compared to the previous years is almost 20 to 25% more. Basically, the expenditure is on hospital charges, what we term as MTRE. But we did a comparison with corporate hospitals and found out that in the years 20 and 21, corporate hospitals admissions were down by about 25-30%. Otherwise, normally these hospitals are full, 80% and plus. So this was almost at 60%. And the reason is that many people, and this is again, there is no empirical evidence, we haven't been able to put data together, but what interaction with corporate hospitals and patients tell us is that those who could put off procedures in the year of the COVID did that, and therefore the sudden surge in the year 22-23, which was the last financial year. As per our estimates, we are thinking that this trend will continue this year too. And in the 6 months that the amount of bills that we have received, it shows a similar trend, that this year also there will be an equivalent amount of money or slightly more which would be required to be spent on hospital bills. Incidentally, the government had sanctioned us 4,200 crores to spend on hospital bills in the beginning of this year. And an unprecedented 3,900 crores out of this was given to us on 31st of March itself. So upfront, the government gave whatever they promised, and that said, okay, go ahead and spend it. It's a different matter that there was a huge carry forward liability from last year. So not burdening you with facts and figures, this 3,900 crores was utilized to run a zero pendency drive. That means all hospital bills which were pending 31st March 23 and before, we made a very concerted effort to clear these bills. We have succeeded partly. About 73% of the bills 31st March and before have been cleared. There are still some, bills which are under dispute, under review. There is need for more information, and there are some bills with the MOD which is yet to be sanctioned. So we take it at about 25%, but 75% of the backlog before 31st March has been cleared. And the fallout of that is that by the end of this month, that is 30th of September, we would have expended every penny that we got from the government as far as MTRE is concerned. The projections for the balance of this year started about 2 months back because we were anticipating this to happen. And we have reasons to believe that the government is likely to release money to us in the beginning of October. I'm not too sure about that, whether it will come in the beginning of October or towards the mid, but definitely there is very positive signals from the government that it will be released. And we have asked for a sum of 3,600 crores for the rest of the year. 1,800 in October and 1,800 in December. So we have placed our case up front, and it is logical, it is reasonable, considering what carry forward liability we've brought in from last year. This is how the money is spent last financial year and what is likely to happen in this financial year. That huge green portion in this pie chart is the hospital bill. And a little bit for the medical reimbursements. The medicines that you buy from outside and upload those bills, that is also part of this MTR. Medical stores you would see is the medicines that the SCMO delivers to you. It's about 1,200 crores last year, almost a similar sum this year. Right. I've been given only 25 minutes to speak, and therefore let us cut straight to the bone. And what are the challenges that we have identified? There are many more than what will figure on the slide. Each individual has an experience, some not so very pleasant. I can assure you that we are not only aware of every challenge that the beneficiary is facing, but we are making everything possible under the sun to remove those challenges. This team that I showed you here and those ones in the regional centers and the polyclinics spread all over the country, we are seized of those issues and we are trying to solve them. Some of them which are bigger or major in its impact and import are what I'm going to flash here. There is limited rural reach, 760 districts, some districts which are so huge like Jaisalmer, where the district itself is bigger than 8 or 9 states in this country. So there is limited rural reach. There is one polyclinic in about half the districts in this country. The beneficiary experience at polyclinics, especially in urban areas, has become a problem. Too much of overcrowding. Take Sona Road, take Dondahera, or any other place like BHDC where many of you are going. The experience is slightly lesser than what you would expect because of so much of pressure. The slide that I showed you before about a type A polyclinic was to cater for about 25,000. How much is it, RK? Type A polyclinic? 30,000. Today, the dependency of Sona Road, which was 32 or 33,000 in 2018, is touching about 87,000. In 5 years' time, the dependency has almost tripled. And this follows a national trend of migrating towards urban areas. Gurgaon is a place people are settling down in large numbers. Mysore is another place where people are settling down in large numbers. Yelahanka in Bangalore, Lucknow, Chandi Mandir, Pune. Almost every urban center in tier 1 and tier 2 city is feeling this pressure. So therefore, we have to go and think beyond a type A polyclinic now and look at something bigger, different, and more manageable and scalable for the future. Response of empaneled hospitals. Everybody knows the reason. The CGHS rates are at 2014. We are unfortunately pegged to those rates. We can't violate these instructions. And the corporate hospitals are loath to provide us treatment at those rates. So what is the solution to the problem? That also we are trying to address, which we'll come to later in the presentation. Medicine availability, this we cannot blame anybody. This is our problem. This is the way that we are managing our medicine delivery. We can't blame the government or any other organization. So we have to find a problem within ourselves. So something is being done and suggested, which I will cover. And of course, this is the concern of everybody from the MOD to the powers that be, that healthcare costs are rising and the scheme is looking to be unviable. Is it really unviable? So we've done a little cost benefit analysis. We found out that the CGHS, which is again under a scanner, spends about almost the equivalent sum per capita that the ECHS spends. So as far as statistics are concerned, we are not too different from the rest of the schemes that the government is running in this country. I'm not comparing it with the PMJY because that is in a different category. The Jan Arogya Yojana, which is in a different category. So broadly, these are the focus areas. Strengthening of the ECHS services, so the man in the periphery of this country, also the serviceman or servicewoman, benefit from the reach of the ECHS. A robust HR policy which will improve the beneficiary experience in polyclinics, hospital empanelment, medicine delivery, and we want to stop or at least reduce the bleeding that is happening because of frauds. So these are broadly areas on which some of work has happened and some is happening. A presentation was given by me to the Raksha Mantri in the presence of the CDS and the DG AFMS, as also the AG and dignitaries from the MOD, where principally the Honorable Raksha Mantri has given a nod for some of these proposals like strengthening of rural services. And he has asked for the file to be processed on file, so that is happening now. The file is with the MOD, in which 17 new polyclinics are being established across the country, brand new one, mostly in tier 2 cities. Upgradation of 42 of them, something which is type B is being made into type A in high pressure areas, and similarly from D to C, etc. And this is very, very interesting, 100 new mobile medical units. So those far-flung areas where we cannot afford to put a polyclinic because of the recurring cost or operating cost of it, we plan to operate on a hub and spoke model. Like for example, if the hub is in Jaipur, it will operate to the rural areas in Jhunjhunu, Sikar, where the polyclinic is 30, 40, 50, 60 kilometers away from the villages. So how it will operate, what it will have is all been thought of, and how many areas will it address in a month, how will it carry medicines, will the doctor be able to prescribe and write a referral in that, will it be connected on IT, has all been thought of and catered for. And this will also increase our reach in the mountainous and the far-flung areas of the northeast. A new HR policy is being put into place, and we are equally rigorously pursuing the increase in remuneration for our contractual staff. You know that our OIC polyclinics are paid just about 75,000, as the MOs are, and the specialists are paid only 1 lakh. Subordinate staff is paid lower accordingly. So although these rates compare well with the Central Labour Commission and others, but for doctors and specialists, there is a problem. And in many areas, we don't have the specialists because this sum is considered too paltry for them to come and give you service. So this is being very, very rigorously pursued by us with the MOD and through them with the MOD Finance. And we should see some progress in this in the coming months. Empaneled hospitals, like I said, 3,200 of them have been empaneled. There is a move to empanel the AIMS, 8 of them in this country. Hopefully something will come through. The first 2 attempts have failed. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has turned it down. And in Bhopal, we are likely to make a breakthrough in the coming weeks. This also is being pursued at the highest level in the MOD with the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. In the meanwhile, for all onco-related treatment, the Tata Memorial Hospital is the gold standard in this country. And you would be glad to know that 5 of them have been empaneled. And the latest one is the one in Mullanpur, Bhabha Cancer Center. So that is also being empaneled, so we'll have 5 on board. Similarly, whichever are the institutions of national importance and eminence, like all those who have not been empaneled also, like AIMS, etc., beneficiaries have an avenue for taking 80% of the treatment cost in advance. So if there is some kind of a surgical procedure, a transplant or something which has to happen in a institute of eminence, those list is also available on your website. Please go through it as at your convenience. No CGHS charges are levied on government hospitals. Government hospitals, whatever they charge, will be reimbursed in full. And some of the government hospitals are almost double the CGHS rates, like the one in Itanagar in Arunachal Pradesh. I'll come to the veteran hospital and wing a while later, where we'll spend about 2-3 minutes on it. Medicine availability. Now, like I said, presently we have a decentralized system where we have about 139 of our SCMOs who are procuring medicines for us. So they do their LP, and some of it comes through the rate contract which the DGFMS lays down. So there is the delay is inbuilt, because some amount of time has to be given after you give your contract, you sign your contract, and the delivery takes that much of time. Once the delivery is confirmed that it is failing, only then the SCMO can go on to the next process, that is to activate his LP, etc. Now we're trying to find a way through this problem. So one of the ways that we are proposing is that we take the Jan Aushadhi distributor in a big way on board. We have recently done a study with Base Hospital Delhi Cant, where we have established that the rates of the Jan Aushadhi distributor are at par for 1/3 of the medicines that the SCMO is buying, but it is higher for the rest of the 2/3. And this we have limited to about 1,500 drugs, which is part of our new common drug list. With the help of the DGFMS office, we have now contracted this common drug list from 4,500 to 1,500, and which makes indenting from this, as far as the SCMO is concerned, easier. So he is now concentrating the money that he is getting only on vital and essential drugs. So this is the way that we're trying to take it forward and get over this problem of medicine unavailability in our, and there are other related issues like, IFA is taking time to sign, we being forced to go on GEM to order. So those are teething issues that we'll have to continuously, and that is what our job is. So we are continuously battling with it, and in absolute collaboration with our medical fraternity. Many of the hospital commandants already I've spoken to, and they are all on board. They are being held by the DGMS, respective DG's MS and the DGFMS office too. Another thought, which again was presented to the Honorable Raksha Mantri, in fact, the idea had come from him only about 2 years back, is a sourcing of medicine, that is outsourcing of medicine delivery, and including door delivery. Basically what it means is that this entire medicine procurement is outsourced to a third party. Many people like eminent vendors like Tata 1mg, Apollo Pharmacy, PharmEasy, they have expressed interest in the RFI. So there is a pilot project which is going to be rolled out now, most probably by March, April next year, where we have selected 8 regions amounting to about 300-400 crores, where this new model will be tried out. A pilot project for 2 years is being run. If it is successful, then whole scale we will go on to this. So how does the beneficiary benefit from this? One, you walk into a polyclinic, into a pharmacy, you will get the medicine. 80%, 90% of the time. You don't get the medicine, you don't have to run around, it will be delivered at home, and they have assured us, anywhere in this country in 48 hours time. So that's a great thing. Another thing where it is going to come into play is if and when we extend the e-Sehat to our veterans, that process is also on. CDAC is working on that little bridge between our software and the e-Sehat one. Once the telemedicine thing is established, there also on a doctor's prescription, the medicines will come home and you don't have to come to a polyclinic to collect the medicine. So these are the two benefits that we will get once this door delivery comes through. An important issue, and where we in the ECHS humbly request your cooperation and help. In a community of ex-servicemen and women, when we are living, there is a certain amount of awareness, because many of these anti-fraud measures that we have taken today is based on the feedback of the ex-servicemen, feedback of the beneficiaries, कि इस polyclinic में ऐसा हो रहा है, या इस hospital में ऐसा हो रहा है. This feedback is extremely important. And a number of places we have given the avenues where this feedback can come to us. We have taken a number of steps which will not be correct to divulge at this state, because we are getting after these fraudsters. Unfortunately, some of them are within the system and some of them are outside. The people of concern, or a matter of concern to us, is the people within the system. Beneficiaries, polyclinics, in collusivity with hospitals, making fraudulent referrals, making fraudulent claims. Number of them are coming to light now. We are trying to get the official machinery also to help us in catching these fraud. And other than this, the major shift which is taking place in anti-fraud is the way that we are using artificial intelligence to scan our bills. It has not started. A proof of concept has been given to us by one of the vendors. But this itself tells us that there is a lot of scope to curtail fraudulent bills and to curtail and to stop the bleeding that is happening because of these payment of these fraudulent bills. I've already spoken about most of these. As I'm running out of time, I'll come to another issue, or maybe the last issue, which is of great significance. And that is the concept of an urban PC, which I spoke about. Now, what is an urban PC? Like I said before, it is time now that we went beyond this type A, B, C, D polyclinic, at least in the urban areas. The example of Sona Road I've given you, and there are umpteen number of examples with me from all urban spaces. Most of you would have been to the old Armed Forces Clinic, which was in that hutment area next to the Sena Bhavan. And most of you also would have been to the new Armed Forces Clinic. That is the difference in experience that I'm talking about. That was just to show you Sona Road, where is one of the busy days where there's so much of pressure on that 1 or 2 or 3 kiosks where people are trying to register themselves, and in the pharmacy there. So I'm sorry, there's a little disclaimer here. The Armed Forces Clinic before didn't look so bad, but now it is in a state of disuse, and that's why. But I just wanted to flag the two differences. So when you walk into the new Armed Forces Clinic, you see it's a totally different experience. There's somebody receiving you, you're sitting down, the veteran or the aged and the infirm are helped into it. That is the kind of experience that we're looking at in the new urban PC. How we fund it, how we take it forward is a matter of detail, but that is the vision and dream that we have in the central org, that we will take it forward, and with your help and cooperation we will do that. I will stand aside, and the nodal officer for this, and the project has gained some traction. The nodal officer for this is here with us, Colonel R.K. Singh, Director RC1. In a minute or two, I will request R.K. to just explain this quickly.
Jai Hind, sirs. This is the area of Air Force Station Gurgaon, which has been earmarked for the ECHS polyclinic of Sona Road. So this is in that area. I'm sure all of you must be aware about this area. So this is that part of land which is marked in the yellow shaded area. So what we are proposing, we have already proposed to our hierarchy, including the LMA and all. This is the area if we are given the permission to go ahead with our plan, then we can have a different type of construction here, which may look like something like this, a multi-story building, because the area permits us to construct that. And in which we can also incorporate the private partners who are willing. We have already communicated with them. It starts with the Tata also and the many big hospitals who are working here in the NCR. So with the public-private partnership model, we can construct this building. However, there are a few glitches, we can call it a technical glitches, which are in terms of the policies which are existing, which restrict us in allowing the private partners in the defense land. So those are the areas wherein even the hierarchy sitting here, even the air chief or can also look into this, that this kind of policy decisions, if can be looked into it, then we can proceed ahead with this, wherein the treatment is given in this complex. The portion of it is allocated to ECHs, multi-story, let's say 5 to 6 stories are only for ECHs, and we don't restrict ourselves in this. I'm just showing the different stakes, like what is the stakes of the defense, that is ECHs, some private stakes, and some portion can be outsourced to civil also. And the facilities which we can look here is firstly the different types of OPDs, because if you see the overall budgeting of ECHS, approximately 80% of funds are being spent on the OPD, wherein the patient, they come to polyclinic and the polyclinic are not able to look after all the patients because the doctors there are of limited variety, that is only medical specialists and the normal MOs. So we are proposing that there should be approximately 15 types of different specialists should be positioned there, and also all types of diagnostic facilities should be located there. So this will not only facilitate one-stop solution for all the veterans as far as healthcare is concerned, but also will reduce the financial burden on the government by reducing the OPD bills for the same. The building may look like one floor, that's some cabins for the OPD, and if we go in for the state-of-art kind of construction, the OPD of each floor may look something like this. That's all. Thank you.
Right. So I take it that it has your approval. Right. Right. So, I mean, this should not be a case of letting the cat out of the bag very soon, because there is no official sanction to what we are saying. We're just trying to propagate this idea. We have already talked to the Delhi area, who's the LMA for Delhi, as far as army land is concerned, to start a similar thing in somewhere next to the BHDC. And we are also in talks with the LWE department, directorate in the army headquarters to, explore the possibility of interpreting rules in a manner which are in the interest of welfare of ex-servicemen. That is for the ECHs. So that is a little official glitch that he was talking about that we have to get over. The funding will not be a problem because the government is willing to spend capital funds. We have just expended 20 to 25 crores this year. More is in the offing. What RK has not told you is that he has done a cost-benefit analysis, and getting a consolidated modern structure like this with a partnership, because an OIC polyclinic who has been in service throughout, who's retired after 20, 30, 40 years of service, will not be geared up to run a huge behemoth like this. It requires some amount of administrative acumen. I'm not saying I'm castigating or categorizing them in one part, but we got to look at a new administrative structure for this kind of polyclinic. So that we'll think about. Second is that a portion of this has to be let out for commerce and not commerce otherwise. I'm saying civilian or other patients will also have to come in, because that private partner who's going to build this and sink in money is also going to have to take his, cost of money back. So those are matters of detail, but I'm saying it is possible because in the rest of the country, wherever you go, UP, Bihar, Ahmedabad, I've been to last month, there are beautiful structures existing on the private-public partnership model. Some, the model that RK talked about, some where only the services are being outsourced. Even if you go to Medanta today, the oncology which is there, radio-oncology, I'm told, and this by the Secretary DOSW, is being outsourced to a specialist. Medanta is not doing it. They have given it to a third party who are charging you that money or the beneficiary that money, and some amount of royalty the Medanta is taking. So today, if we install such services in our precincts, maybe we will also be gaining much more than running around with a referral to a corporate hospital. Out of the 7,000 crores that we spent on hospitals last year, 35% of the bills are ranging 20,000 and below. 20,000 rupees and below are 35% of my cost to the ECHS. And these are spread over 20 lakh bills. And a OPD today in a corporate hospital is costing anything up to 3,000, 3,500 rupees. That is the area that we should first and foremost tap into to stop this extra expenditure and give the beneficiary that wholesome experience when he or she walks into a structure like this, that everything is taken care of. It is only the secondary or the tertiary treatment that you require to go into a hospital. I've got much more to say. I'm again sharing this entire thing to you, but we have the constraint of time, and I'll stop my little talk here. If time permits, we can take on the questions or any grievances now. My team is here. We will note down every single suggestion or problem that you have before leaving from here. Thank you. Jai Hind. I finished.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry we're running around 20 minutes behind schedule. The Chief of the Staff has already arrived. We'll have a short break for 10 minutes to do little rearrangement. As committed by MD in his speech, he says every suggestion made by you will be taken cognizance of. So please don't hesitate. Just write down. You can hand it over to him or to me or to any one of the office bearers over here. It shall be our endeavor to take it up with MD, with ECHS and provide you solution to those issues. Thank you very much. We'll have a 10 minutes break. I have a request that please reassemble in time so that we fit.
Gentlemen, the Chief of Air Staff has arrived. Please rise. Gentlemen, please be seated. Please be quiet. On behalf of the veteran Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhadoria, PVSM, AVSM, VM, President Air Force Association, I take the honor to welcome Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary, PVSM, AVSM, VM, ADC, Chief of the Air Staff, all the former chiefs and all esteemed guests to the 42nd Annual General Body Meeting of Air Force Association. May I now request Veteran Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhadoria, sir, President Air Force Association, to deliver his welcome address.
Air Chief Marshal B.R. Chaudhary, former Air Chiefs, Vice Chief of Air Staff, CNC, WAC, PSOs, DGs, all the Air Warriors, my colleagues, my seniors, veterans, all the veterans here, families, ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon. After having a long day with the AGM, we are really honored to have the Air Chief here. I want to really thank the Air Chief for sparing time from his busy schedule and being here to address all the air veterans. I also want to thank the commanders, the PSOs and DGs who are here from their busy time in the office. And it is a great occasion for us to have you amongst us. Today we started the day with wreath laying. Thereafter we had this AGM, which is the annual feature, as you know. Today being the 42nd AGM and the 44th raising day of Air Force Association. So I think Air Force Association has come a long way. We have 1 lakh plus membership. Overall, the association is growing, the branches are growing, the number of branches has increased, it's got 20 plus. The work being done in branches has undergone a major shift, and there's a lot of energy in most of the areas that we are working in. We've had some good discussions, primarily on spurs, ECHS, pensions. These are the areas where most of the veterans get affected, get concerned, or get, have issues to be sorted out. And from that, it was a very productive day. They're all looking forward to hear from you, the Chief, and it is really an occasion for all of us to hear where the Air Force is, what the Air Force is doing, and to hear from you your advice and directions as we go forward. So without wasting anybody's time anymore, I would like to invite the Air Chief to kindly address the gathering. Thank you very much.
President, Air Force Association, Air Chief Marshal Bhaduria, former chiefs, esteemed veterans, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to all of you. It is indeed a privilege to be here this afternoon to speak to you on the state of the Indian Air Force. The very Air Force that all of you spent valuable years in, have nurtured, and have seen it grown to where we stand today. But once again, let me place on record the gratitude for your service when all of you were in the Air Force, for your vision and for bringing the Air Force to where we stand today. And I assure you, on behalf of all those sitting here in the uniform today, that we will continue to take the Air Force to greater heights and touch the sky with glory. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Sir. The Air Force Association awards appreciations by the Chief of Air Staff to 3 air veterans every year for their outstanding contribution in AFA activities towards the welfare of air veterans fraternity. For the year 2023, the CS has approved the award for Veteran Group Captain Siraj Mehndi, President AFA Noida Branch, ex-MW SK Sinha, Coordinator AFA Haryana Branch, and ex-Corporal RK Mendiratta, Executive Committee Member of AFA Gujarat Branch. Today, 2 awardees are present to receive the award from CAS. May I now request Veteran Group Captain Siraj Mehndi to come to the stage, please. Veteran Group Captain Siraj Mehndi was commissioned in AEM branch of IAF on 2nd July 1979 and is superannuated on 31st December 2013. He is holding the appointment of President AFA Noida branch since May 2019. There is a positive improvement in the working environment of AFA Noida since he has taken over. The satisfaction level amongst air veterans residing in Noida, Greater Noida and Ghaziabad areas is very high. His focus areas are primarily to assist air veterans with problems related to ECHS, annual life certificate and issues related to PPO. He frequently visits the houses of senior and sick veterans or their widows to resolve their problems. He is also very particular to attend the funerals on demise of the veterans and lay wreath on behalf of the President AFA. He and his team deserve special appreciation for the hard work and exceptional commitment to help distressed veterans during the COVID pandemic time. Veteran Group Captain Siraj Mehndi is very sincere and dedicated officer. He is well regarded by the veterans for his positive approach, humane nature and pleasant personality. May I now request the Chief of the Air Staff to present appreciation card to Group Captain Siraj Mehndi, please. May I now request ex-JW SK Sinha to come to the stage, please. Ex-JW Satish Kumar Sinha was enrolled on 7th October 1980 and he retired on 31st October 2009 after serving IA for 29 years. Unfortunately, while in service, he was paralyzed due to spinal cord injury and he was discharged from service on medical grounds. His walking ability is limited, but he did not let his disability to dampen his high spirits and resolve. Post-retirement, he began to serve the Air Veterans Fraternity and chose the most effective and prevalent platform, that is social media. He operates a very effective WhatsApp group named Serve the Needy Veterans, having 600 members as on date. The group has been successful in arranging financial assistance also, apart from helping them on matters like ECHS, PERSH, ABHA, CSD, MSP, all those, Zilla Sainik Board, Kendriya Sainik Board, and other issues. He is also associated with Kutumb app on IF Veterans Forum, having 12,000 air veterans and Veer Naris as the members. May I now request the Chief of the Air Staff to present appreciation card to ex-JW SK Sinha, please. Next slide. The sources of funds for AFA are primarily through the interest income on deposits and membership fee paid by the life members. However, we also have a number of people with philanthropic inclination and generous hearts who make donations to the AFA for various social causes and scholarships. They believe in giving back to the society and trust AFA as an organization where their donated money will be utilized transparently for the real beneficiaries. This year, we are honoring 2 such donors as mark of respect for their generosity. May I now request Mrs. Asha Daya, wife of late Air Vice Marshal D.S. Daya, to come to the stage, please. She is accompanied by her daughter, Advocate Jyoti Daya. Son of a World War II veteran and a farmer, Dalip Singh Daya joined the Navy as an apprentice sailor in 1955. Soon he got selected for NDA in 1956 and was commissioned in IAF in 1960. He was flying instructor and did tenures at Car Nicobar, Jorhat, and retired as Director Works at Air Headquarters. He is an alumni of Defence Service Staff College and NDC and is an AVSM awardee. Though he rose to the rank of AVM, he always remained grateful to the people who helped him during his early days and wanted to give back to the society. In memory of her beloved husband, Mrs. Asha Daya has donated rupees 21 lakhs to AFA. The purpose is to institute AVM DS Daya Memorial Scholarship to help others as others have helped him and to keep alive his legacy. May I now request the Chief of the Air Staff to felicitate Mrs. Asha Daya, please. May I now request Veteran Wing Commander A.K. Saraf to come to the stage, please. Veteran Wing Commander A.K. Saraf was commissioned in AEL branch of IAF on 5th January 1976 and he retired on 31st May 1999. He mostly worked on fighter aircrafts like Nats, Ajit, Hunters and Jaguars. He was CI in Jaguar Tetra School and also posted to DRDO. He lost his wife in July 1917 due to anaplastic carcinoma of thyroid, a deadly disease which lasted only for 15 days. She had a dream of helping poor sections of the society. Hence, after her demise, Wing Commander A.K. Saraf started a trust named Mrs. Asha Saraf and Wing Commander Ashok Kumar Saraf Charitable Trust. It is a registered trust with PAN number as well. He has become a great philanthropist mainly towards healthcare issues. Some of his major contributions are: he donated rupees 5 lakhs to Command Hospital, Bangalore for purchase of instruments. He donated rupees 60 lakhs to Karunashray Hospice Trust, Bangalore for construction of a OPD block. He donated rupees 5 lakhs corpus fund to Karunashray Hospice Trust for last rites of the unclaimed bodies. He claimed 51 lakh rupees to Vistara Hospital, Jammu for construction of an operation theatre. He donated rupees 6 lakhs for the corpus funding at Bangalore City Rotary Indira Nagar Trust. These are just few of his major contributions. Otherwise, the list is very long, sir. Amongst his upcoming projects are he is planning to build apartments in Srinagar at a cost of rupees 80 lakhs for defense and Kashmiri migrants who visit Valley. Defense personnel and Kashmiri migrants. Rupees 80 lakhs. Veteran Wing Commander A.K. Saraf has also donated rupees 10 lakhs to AFA. May I now request Chief of the Air Staff to felicitate Veteran Wing Commander A.K. Saraf, please. As per Para 7B of the Memorandum of Association of Air Force Association, there is a provision that any person of eminence may be invited by the Governing Council to become an honorary member of the association for a specified period or for life. At present, there are 2 honorary members of Air Force Association. Both of them had approached the Air Force Association for granting the membership of AFA as they expressed a desire to remain connected with Air Force. These 2 people are namely Flight Cadet Praveen Dave, who left Air Force while he was still undergoing training at AFA, and Lieutenant Colonel B.S. Patwal, who was a LSE in Air Force and subsequently got commissioned in Army. We are going to add 3 more members today. Retired Colonel P.S. Chaudhary sir, retired Colonel H.S. Chaudhary sir, and retired Subedar B.S. Tanwar. May I now request Colonel P.S. Chaudhary, his brothers Colonel H.S. Chaudhary and Wing Commander D.S. Chaudhary to come on the stage, please. Fortunately, Colonel P.S. Chaudhary is also accompanied by his son, Major General G.S. Chaudhary. Colonel P.S. Chaudhary and his brothers initiated a family trust named PRG Charitable Trust, which was formed with the objective of imparting higher education to deserving poor and meritorious students. However, Colonel P.S. Chaudhary sir, who is now 86 years old, and other trustees were having some difficulties in managing the trust due to their growing age. So they approached AFA to manage their trust on the same lines as is being done for the Marshal of the Air Force and Mrs. Arjan Singh Trust. As objectives of both the trusts are common in nature and a provision exists to merge such trust with similar nature. So we accepted their proposal and obtained the opinion of our legal advisor and chartered accountant also. The PRG Trust has now been managed with the Marshal of the Air Force and Mrs. Arjan Singh Trust, and rupees 27 lakhs has been transferred to the MAFT for providing the scholarships. For this act of generosity, it has been decided in the GCM of AFA to offer honorary membership to both the brothers who are from Indian Army. Now, a few words about the family. Colonel P.S. Chaudhary sir has served in the army for 27 years and he took part in both 1965 and 1971 operations. He then moved from the war fields to the field of academics as a college lecturer for 2 years and as an education director of college and number of schools for 19 years. Thereafter, he was corporate head for 12 years. He was also counseling member of Ludhiana Police for redressal of marital grievances of women. His younger brother, Colonel H.S. Chaudhary sir, was commissioned in the Regiment of Artillery and served in various air defense regiments. He also took part in both 1965 and 1971 war and served in Mizoram also during the intense period of insurgency. He retired in 1992 and worked in corporate sector until 2014. As he had participated in 1971 war, so he and his wife had an opportunity to visit Bangladesh 2 years back as a part of the Indian contingent. Their third brother, Wing Commander D.S. Chaudhary, was commissioned on 31st December 63 as a navigator by the then Air Chief Marshal Arjan Singh. He has flown Dakota, Packet, IL-76 and AN-12 aircraft. He was an AN-12 aircraft QNI and did staff college in 1979. He also commanded a missile squadron and a station before superannuating in July 94. Thereafter, he worked in private sector for 18 years as HR and admin head. Colonel P.S. Chaudhary sir is blessed with his son, Major General G.S. Chaudhary, who is posted to DMA recently. May I now request Chief of the Air Staff to felicitate Colonel P.S. Chaudhary, Colonel H.S. Chaudhary and Wing Commander D.S. Chaudhary, please. अब क्या करें यार? May I now request Subedar Bir Singh Tanwar to come to the stage, please. Fortunately, he is also accompanied by his wife and 3 children, his son-in-law and granddaughter as well. Retired Subedar Bir Singh Tanwar is a true embodiment of unwavering dedication to our nation, and it is an honor and a privilege to introduce him. From his humble beginnings in Bhiwani, Haryana, his journey in army commenced in 1979 with 15 Rajput Regiment. A remarkable achievement was that he earned a revered NSG Commando Black Belt after completing the prestigious Commando course. After a distinguished service, he was honorably discharged on 1st August 2001. He is married to Srimati Urmila Devi. His legacy of service did not end there, and he instilled the ethos of service before self in his children. Today, 3 of his 4 children proudly don the Indian Air Force uniform. His daughter, Wing Commander Sonika Tanwar, was commissioned AEL branch in 2009. She was an SSC officer and retired in July 2023. She is married to Wing Commander Alok Kumar Singh, who is posted as STO 15 Squadron. Son Squadron Leader Shashikant Singh was commissioned in AEL branch in January 2014 and is presently posted to Air Force Station Nal. The youngest son, Squadron Ravikant Singh, was commissioned in Adam FC branch in June 2017 and is posted at Air Force Station Jodhpur. May I now request the Chief of the Air Staff to felicitate Subedar Bir Singh Tanwar, please. Thank you, sir. Before we come to the end of the day's proceedings, may I request Senior Vice President of AFA for the closing address, Air Marshal Jagjit Singh, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. They say all good things eventually come to an end. Here I am in front of you for the Thanksgiving ceremony. I start with Chief of the Air Staff, Air Chief Marshal Chaudhary, sir, for sparing your valuable time, being with us this afternoon, enlightening us on the achievements of the Indian Air Force, as well as conducting this honoring ceremony. We at the Air Force Association shall always remain indebted to our parent service, Air Force, for the hand holding which they have provided to us, wherein we have been able to provide effective care to the veterans and their family. This support is in terms of admin support, financial support, and most importantly, the moral support, sir. Whenever we are in any crisis, we just look towards Air Headquarters and we get that sound back, "Main hoon na." And the same thing is there at the Command Headquarters, as well as all the stations where we have the Air Force branches or chapters located. Sir, on behalf of the veterans, I can assure you that though we may have hung up our uniforms, the spirit is still alive in us, sir. We are there with you. You can count on us, and we are at your command, sir. Should there be an occasion, we'll be there. You can count us as one of your strengths, sir. We have already seen the honoring of two of our members for the good services being provided by them, that is Group Captain Mehdi and J.W. Sinha. And the generous donors, we have Group Captain Puri also with us, who had donated 2 crore rupees 2 years back, and Mrs. Dhaya and Wing Commander Sraf sir. And then, of course, honoring the Chaudhary brothers family and Subedar Bir Singh Tanwar and his family. Thank you very much, sir, for that, sir. I extend my thanks to the former chiefs also, 4 of them who are present. In case, of course, I include the president, then, of course, there are 5 chiefs present today, former chiefs, who have always endeavored it to make a point to attend all our functions. Thank you so much, sir, and for continuously providing us that guidance, timely guidance, which keeps on moving us further. Today you can see the strength in the auditorium itself, sir, and similar meetings are being held in the last 5 days at all our branches to celebrate the Air Force Association Day on the 15th of September. And my sincere thanks to all the serving veterans, the PSOs from Air Headquarters, AOC, WAC, and officers from SFC and IDS who are here amongst us, as well as the veterans in large number. It is because of your presence that today's function is a big success. Thank you very much to all of you. Two issues which keep on bugging the veterans are, of course, ECHS and the SPARSH, or whatever you may call it. My sincere thanks to MD ECHS, who was here along with his team, and he updated us on all the issues, and his speech was really very, very well taken. I am sure that in the years to come, we will be very, very comfortable on the ECHS front. And of course, to ACS Accounts and his team for delivering a talk on SPARSH. I would like to, though Chief has covered in his presentation, the SPARSH centers which have been set up, 121 of them, in all the Air Force self-accounting units, which are going to be a big boon to the veterans. I have visited 2 of them myself, sir, at Camro Mess here in WAC complex and at the AFND canteen complex. Both of them are doing a wonderful job. And as we have mutually decided in our last meeting, which we had last week with the ACS accounts and PDAV, that now the veterans can give their other problems related to DAV also to these SPARSH centers, who in turn will translate them back to the DAV, so that the veterans don't have to bother visiting the DAV and covering long distance. And of course, I have thanked Puri sir, Mrs. Dhaya and Sraf sir for their generous contribution, Chaudhary brothers and Subedar Bir Singh and his family. Thank you very much. Despite your ill health, Mrs. Dhaya hadn't been keeping too well, but then on my personal request, I requested her and she has come. And amongst the Chaudhary brothers, 2 of them have traveled from Chandigarh to be with us for this function. And Subedar Bir Singh Tanwar has also come from Bhiwani, long distance. He's traveled today morning to be with us along with the 3 children and the son-in-law to be with us. Thank you very much. I have Brigadier I.M. Singh also here, who's president of the Indian Ex-Servicemen League, our big brother. He's here, and he's been providing us support. He's here, as well as we have Lieutenant General V.K. Chaturvedi sir also, who's president of ABP SSP. I am calling it in short, sir. These are the sister organizations which have been recognized by the Ministry of Defense. There are 5 of them which have been recognized. One is ours. Two are being. Mishra Sahib is also here. Yes, yeah. He is there. He is there. He is representing NECC, that is National Ex-Servicemen Coordination Committee. He's also there on behalf of them. So these are our sister organizations. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us this afternoon. And in the end, of course, I would like to thank A. Marshal Anand, the AOA, because all the admin support for this function is being provided to us on a platter. Be it the auditorium, be it AFO station New Delhi in terms of photography, security, transportation. And what I have seen in the last 2-3 years that I have been interacting with, the moment they get my call, without my telling the problem, they say the answer is yes. So, thank you very much, sir, for the wonderful support, the auditorium team, the ACS accounts and his staff, AOC racecourse. I would also like to thank the station commanders and the AOCs of the units located in Delhi, because we keep on depending on them also for plenty of things, including providing transportation for the veterans today morning. Thank you very much to each one of you. I won't take much time. In the end, I will say, please join us for a lunch outside in the fire. Thank you very much. One more announcement, just last one more announcement. Sir, we have been having our Air Force Association magazine, which was being sent to the veterans, those who have subscribed for it. But last year onwards, we have converted it into a digital form. Now, whether you are a member or not, you will keep on getting a copy of this in a PDF format on your WhatsApp or through your email. And another achievement is, sir, after a long time, we have been able to get this magazine ready today, 10 days before its publication. It's supposed to have been released on 30th. It's ready here in 20th. We will be sending it. The credit goes to Group Captain Kapoor, who's the editor of the magazine, sir. Thank you very much. Please join us for lunch in the fire.